we both have a very fond memories and indebtedness to Michael Brecker, as I know a lot of people around the world. He really kind of took the torch from Coltrane and from
Mm.
Coleman, of saying, here's what I'm going to do now. And a lot of just such intellect and emotion and all the styles. And he wasn't just a jazz purist, which I love. And, but I always thought that about him, is going, wow, I mean, what, is he happy? Someone that practices that much and has been that obsessed, it's like it's just that you're going to try to be better than you were yesterday, and it's sort
Yeah.
of fun. Yeah. And um and that's why it was then so special to me, as I was always thinking, what gets him excited about music, especially at that point later in his life. And then when I gave him my tune, and with Jerry Hay on it, Turbulent Altercation, and then he listened to it and actually called me back the next day, I was just like, wow. It was ultimately special for me, because he's like, I've already listened to this thing 20 times. I mean, so how'd you do this? What were you thinking? And I'm just going, how awesome that someone at that level is still going, oh, I want to learn more. And
Yes. He was always curious and really always excited.
I went to a clinic of his at NYU, and um, sure enough, yeah, you showed up, and then you went and hung with him after. I remember you guys walked off, and just thinking, that's so neat. It makes so much sense when um, was one of our leaders, one of our gurus, you know. And I remember seeing you, ironically, the night with John Fedchuk's band up on stage when we heard he had passed away that day at the IAJE in 2007. And I was just going, boy, that's got to be a challenge to play, or what are you thinking, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What a huge loss. I mean, it's hard to kind of talk about, but I mean, he left behind so much amazing stuff, and this may sound strange, but I think people are yet to realize how great he was. That may sound strange, but to me, I don't think people, not everybody, but I think there are some people who don't realize what a force he was. That's something that might really take 10, 20 years to, another generation for that to kind of just really be realized. But
Well, it's sort of like you backing up from the situation, right? So more time goes by, and then you start to see these big pivotal things of, yes, Louis Armstrong, then the Charlie Parker Dizzy kind of thing, and then yeah, the Miles and Coltrane, and then who's this next pillar, you know?
yeah, yeah,
And there would be no Michael Brecker without Coltrane, and there would be no Coltrane, right? It keeps going. It's all passed on. It's so inspiring, and it's very inspiring for me that then you guys are both on my album, and it just means so much to me. And that, I can't believe that was already 15 years ago. Um,
that's amazing. I mean, for me to be included on a record that Michael is on is equally as inspiring and kind of unbelievable, you know, because he was such an idol growing up in high school, transcribing all of the solos and just staring at the record covers. And little would I would never believe that at some point I would be on a recording that he was on as well.
song you played on, which is called Ballad, and it's really neat that my band here in Denver, DKO, we recorded, I wrote and arranged the piece, and then thought, yeah, well, I don't know how I can get Rick to finally get over here and do this thing, and then we just decided, let's do it virtually, and you gave me a couple of tracks, and I worked them in, and it's just an amazing track. And whenever months go by, I don't hear it, and then something will come up where I'll send that song to somebody and I'll just listen and go, it's just so awesome. The musicality of it and your intricate lines in the solo, there's some dense chords and I knew you'd eat it alive. And let's listen to Rick's solo. We'll come out of the head and then you'll hear Rick's solo here. So this is Ballad on the DKO CD, In the Now. That is so exciting and inspiring to me every time I hear that solo, because the shape of it is so sculpted, but it's improvisation. That's what the benefits of jazz, I think, is that you're a composer in the moment, and it takes such awareness of being outside of yourself and listening to the band and also thinking, where do I want this to go, but also just being in the moment. So it's this in and out.
It really is. It is an extraordinary thing, because you're composing not only notes and content, but you're also composing form. Like you said, to sculpt something that actually takes people on the journey and makes sense musically, and form is the most elusive element in my opinion anyway, in terms of improvisation or composition. Is to find the form, and to find it when you're actually just improvising in the moment is pretty extraordinary.
And that's what caused me to do. I did several versions of In the Now because Brecker took a few solos, and I'm like, man, these are all gems. How can I work them in? So there's 4 parts on the CD of Michael Brecker, and then there's 2 parts of your solo. And I did a similar thing. I took the same solo, but it was kind of a mistake in the studio, and I heard it just with the reverb and your playing. And then I had another pad track soloed with it, and I was like, oh boy, wait, this is kind of different. And then I decided I'm going to write some string and take it a different place. And so I don't know if you've listened to this one very much. This gets really neat right here at the end of your solo.
It's really neat to hear it that way. Wow.